Hi everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. Also like and share my videos. First and foremost, I want to start by appreciating everyone who had reached out to me one way or the other. Those who were able to get through, those who were not able to get through. And the reason is my gadgets were hacked. And I'll be talking about that in this video. The title of this video is how my gadgets got hacked in Spain. You see me smiling now? It was not all about smiles while I was still in Spain. Because I want to really show out a disclaimer. This video is my personal experience during my stay in Spain. When I got to Spain early this year, just before the total lockdown around the world, I was staying somewhere before for about a month. I had no problems with my phones. I had no problems with my gadgets, with my laptop and all that. And after 1 month, I moved to an apartment. In that apartment, it's like a self-contained apartment. You have your room, toilet, bedroom, kitchen and all that. So I moved to this apartment, a better place from where I was staying before. And when I moved to this apartment, obviously you know that because it's an apartment, there are so many other apartments in that building, and so there's free Wi-Fi. Virtually most buildings like that, they all have free Wi-Fi. And so I logged on to the Wi-Fi like any other person. But after about I think 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be looking for the Wi-Fi. So I'll check, I will not see the Wi-Fi. So I'll be forced to restart my laptop. And so when I restart my laptop, I will now find it. And when I find it, I connect. But I started noticing that it started getting on and on. On 2 or 3 occasions, I will have to be looking for the network. And I'm wondering, why am I looking for the network? The network just go off and I will not see where I can click on Wi-Fi to connect and then select the network. I will not see it. So I'll be forced to restart. And so on one of the occasions, I just got a prompting that there's virus on my laptop. So I said, okay, let me go and buy some antivirus. Maybe that's part of the reason why this network is fluctuating. So I went online and I purchased the first antivirus AVG. When you purchase this antivirus, you have to send an email. There is the email that we use to give you your receipt and also give you your code for the subscription. And so I installed it. Immediately I installed it, that was the beginning of a new chapter. The antivirus told me that my network was not safe. I should secure my network. It told me that there was virus on my laptop. I said looking for how to clean the virus and how to secure the network, and showed me how I can be monitored even from the camera of my laptop and so many other things. And so I now installed the same antivirus on my phone. As at that time, I had 2 phones that I'll be using. And I used those phones when I was in the UK. So I just brought the phones like that and I used them. While I installed the antivirus on the phones, I now started receiving all kinds of prompting. Virus here, virus there and all that. So at a point in time, I cleaned up. Well, I thought I cleaned up. And another occasion, I now bought another antivirus, thinking, okay, let me get another one, maybe a stronger one. And all this while, I was entering in my cards. I was using my card to buy this antivirus. I was using my card to buy it. When I bought this, the second antivirus, which is the Avast, and I installed that one on my phone, that antivirus has the app lock. It also have the anti-theft. And that was when there was a day I was in my apartment. I was just sitting there in my apartment. My phone was somewhere else but close by, and I just had a very loud alarm, like a siren sound. By the time I looked at the phone, it was so loud, I was struggling to put it off. Only to later realize that the phone was hacked into. They wanted to break the security of the phone. So the anti-theft siren started ringing. So the first thing was to tell myself, don't use the public Wi-Fi again. And during this period, there was total lockdown in Spain, so you couldn't even go out. to get things except essential things that you needed. And then I'll get the mobile data. I was then very careful not to use my card on the internet, since it was not very clear that there were hacking activities. The antivirus was the one that exposed it, and the antivirus kept complaining about my Wi-Fi, that the Wi-Fi is not secured. It asked me to put in a VPN. I put in a VPN that will disguise my location. That did not stop it. It kept complaining and complaining. I later discovered that the hackers had access to my mail. Of course, it was already hacked, and then now try to control the antivirus, because you can control your antivirus from your email. And I realized that the antivirus was tampered with. So when it's supposed to scan, take its time to scan and everything, if I just click on start scan, it will just jump to 100% without really taking its time to scan, through my phones. And then I now had to do a reset on my phones. So I did a reset on my phones. After the reset on the phones, I discovered that some system apps that did not come with the phone were installed on the phone. That sounds very funny. So when the phone comes, you have the general app that shows, and you also have the system app. When I did a factory reset, I observed that some of the apps that were not on the phone originally as system apps now were found on the phone. So when I kept resetting and resetting and resetting, it did not remove those system apps that were put into the phone. So what that means is that the phone was bugged to a level where the bug became a system app. When I was experiencing all those issues of having to clean the phone and everything, so I went online to now start reading signs that your phones are being hacked, signs that your laptop is being hacked. I just kept reading and reading and reading, and to my surprise, what I was experiencing was what I read. For example, my search was redirected. If I click on something and I type what I want to search, it will take me to a different page. There was a day I was searching for somebody's name, because I'd done a cleanup on my phone. So I was trying to get the person's name on the internet and see if I can trace the person's email and send an email to the person. The next thing I saw was that I typed that person's name on the search engine, and what came out was payslip of so and so and so. So you can just imagine how a name became payslip, and that was because they had gone through my email and they had seen my payslip. I also realized that my Facebook account was hacked. Also, my emails, my Gmails, and then that of my official email also was hacked. In fact, Google kept complaining and complaining of security issues on my account. Several times I had to change my password and update the two-step verification. But of course, when you are doing that on a public Wi-Fi and on a laptop that is already bugged, you're as good as doing nothing. So when I do all those change, when I come back again to try to log in, I will not be able to log in. After several issues, Google just blocked my accounts. They blocked my Gmail and they blocked my official account. I was now left with only the account of the university, that I was in. And then after that, I had to keep writing everybody that my email has been hacked and has been blocked. My laptops, everything was a serious issue. As time went, I just realized that this hacking experience, this activity was not far-fetched. Upon proper observation, upon proper discovery, I realized that the hacker was actually living on the floor above my floor, and they also had a device called proximity sensor that actually picks signals. So after the lockdown, I went to go and buy 2 phones. It was from that phone and I realized that when I move around the apartment, inside my apartment, I'm being followed inside the apartment because they're trying to get signal. And then if you have your phone, you switch a sensor on top of your phone to receive information. So if I block that sensor, I can do whatever I want to do on the phone. So they will now be moving up and down with their detecting device. They want to pick signals. That device is used to pick signals. I will hear them following me. If I go to a corner, I will hear footsteps. If I go to a corner, it got so much that I had to use my broomstick to hit the top of my roof to tell them that I know what you guys are doing. One of the things, they don't go directly behind you to hack. they will use you to hack. So they will keep monitoring all your activities. When you try to log in your card or purchase with your card, they will try to stop it. Now, on one of the occasions, I tried to buy some things online. So I paid for it. You know, most of the platform of some of these websites are encrypted. So when you enter in your card details, it's secured. So I entered in the card details the first time. I'm supposed to receive a feedback that my transaction has gone or it has been sent. A feedback will just come. I didn't receive any feedback. Rather, I was returned to the previous page to continue to log in again my card details. I logged in the second time, the same response. I logged in the third time. After the third time, I stopped. So I just assumed that, okay, maybe the website or something. I didn't even realize that I was actually being monitored. So they were actually trying to break the code, you know, to access the card, but they could not. So after about 4 or 5 days later, I received a call that my parcel has arrived. And I was surprised. Which parcel? But I thought the card did not go through. Anyway, by the time I checked my account and I checked my email, I realized that the first transaction I even made, on the card, it went through. So those hackers were trying to make me to repeat the transaction over and over again so that they can now have a way of gaining access to my card. And then it became worse, I must tell you. As I was observing, as I was tracing what happened, I was now trying to beef up security on my phones, trying to get app lock, trying to get VPN, trying to get antivirus, did a factory reset, even downloaded another WhatsApp that was encrypted. I did all kinds of things. As I was trying to protect the phone, or my phones and my laptop, they were trying to break through, break the security, and what they are looking for is money. I entered in my card into my Facebook account because I wanted to pay for a transaction, and I realized that was the greatest mistake I made. And when I entered that, that was even before all these things started getting worse. And when I entered in that card, I couldn't remove the card. I tried to remove the card, and it is clear that you can remove the card at any time you want, and you can upload it at any time you want. But I couldn't remove the card. My sister in South Africa had to help me to remove the card. Now, when I was struggling to remove the card back in Spain, I tried to replace the card. Since I can't remove it, let me try and replace it with the Nigerian card. As I was trying to replace it with my Nigerian card, they were trying to deduct money from that particular Nigerian card, but it was blocked. Again, before that time, I had to go and check my card. I kept going to the ATM machine to check my card and see transactions. And I realized that what these hackers did was that the transaction I paid for on Facebook, they tried to block it. So I'm paying for a service on Facebook. They tried to block that service and this transaction and try to divert. So they're not hacking directly so that they don't get traced. They're hacking through what you are doing. So you pay for something, they want to block what you paid for, so that they cannot look for a way of diverting the money. And so that was what they were trying to do. Anyway, one of the days I left my apartment when the lockdown was eased, I think maybe the second or third phase. I left my apartment, and do you know that I was followed? That was the first time I was followed. I was followed very closely. And when I got to a particular place, somebody just passed me very close and turned to look at my face. Immediately I saw him. There was a clicking. I said, this is the guy that is hacking my phone. Since that day, I was being followed everywhere. Why was I being followed? I was being followed to see when I use my phones, when I use my laptops, what I do. So initially, when we resumed at the university, the transaction I wanted to do, because after the last incident, when I received my package, I wrote them. I said, my laptop has been hacked, that they should please remove my account details from that site. You know, that when I want to purchase again, I will put in my card directly. So they sent a mail back to me that it has been removed. Now when I got to the university, when I resumed and I opened that same website, I realized a card was already loaded on that website. That's on my own page on the company's website. So I looked at the card. I said, I don't have a card that ends with this number. I checked my cards, my ATM cards. They don't end with that particular number. And I realized that, oh, okay. So the person now, the hacker, now uploaded an ATM card on that my platform, so that when I try to update or change it, they know. You know, everything you do online is not safe. Anybody can access it. Anybody can see what you are doing. To cut the long story short, summary of the whole thing is that throughout the remaining times I have stayed in Spain, I was being followed every day, except I don't leave the house. And if I don't leave the house, once I put on my phone, because it's already bugged, once not even when you connect to the network, once you put on the phone, they know you put on the phone. Same thing with my laptop. So as at that time, I already had 4 phones. The 4 phones were bugged. Anyway, I made up my mind that I will no longer do any online transaction. I want to thank God because He gave me breakthrough. Nothing was missing, nothing was stolen, nothing was broken. After I had made several complaints to the management of my apartment, I even told them specifically, gave details, and I told them how I got to know. I said everything. Anyway, they finally moved me to another room. But do you know what? When I got to the other room, a higher floor, but the person on the floor above me again had the same device that picks signals. I was shocked. The first night I entered the room, I heard the sound. Once they are trying to pick the signal, I hear the sound. So if you are into sensor and sensory devices, you will know that signals can be picked remotely. In fact, just go online and do a lot of reading. You will see a lot of information. If somebody is in an apartment and you're on your laptop, somebody else can see everything you're doing on your laptop from another apartment. The same thing with your phones, you know, and that was what was happening to me. Everything I was doing on my laptop, on my phones, everything was being seen. Now, in this new apartment, since I know that my phones were already bugged and the internet was not safe, I just left one phone open. I used the phone to listen to news, to watch videos on YouTube, and to just do general things. Most of my SIM, I kept buying SIM. As I was buying phones, I was buying new SIM. So both the SIM and the phones were all hacked. And your SIM can be cloned. In fact, my SIM was cloned. So I just knew that no matter the number of SIM I had, but I've used the SIM on a bugged phone and they had access to the network, it was already cloned. On this other device I left open, in this new house, I will just be receiving a message that will just appear on the screen that says, your password and credit card details are saved on this network. Can you imagine? Maybe I'm watching a video, I'm listening to news, I'm reading the news, I'll just get a pop-up over and over again. Your password and your credit card are saved on this network. Why are they telling me? Anyway, it kept popping and popping, and then one of the days, you know what I did on one of the days? I just print screened it. That was how that one stopped. My phones and my gadgets were persistently being hacked. And to even make it worse, I was now being followed again by 2 people. So one of the days, after the incident of trying to put off the phone, when I come out, the person thinks I'm coming out with my phone. So I was being followed by 2 people to my university. You won't believe it. I was so sure I was being followed. One of the days in the university, I tried to now install WhatsApp and some security devices on the phone. I was moving up and down. I was going through the lift, trying to move away from their signals, from their device, you know, that pick signals. Do you know that I was being followed? Even in the building, moving up and down. Anyway, let me not bore you, but I will share with you in my next video ways in which you can secure your device and ways in which you can protect your personal information. See you in my next video.